The Nintendo Switch 2 is nearly upon us, or at least the reveal, the complete reveal is coming up in about a week, April 2nd, or at least that's the plan, right? They're gonna have that direct with Nintendo showcasing everything, and there's gonna be some hands-on stuff coming up pretty soon for people who got their tickets. I didn't even bother trying. I didn't want to try to go out there, but yeah, there's gonna be a lot of events going down. But now there's some sources going on with some exclusive information I want to talk about. But man, yeah, I'm excited for the Switch 2. But be straight up honest, the Switch 1, there's been so many freaking games I haven't even gotten around to playing. The last year's been tough for me. Just so much stuff in real life going on that man, there's games that have come out where it's just like, dude, I really want this freaking game and full intentions on playing it, and then I buy the damn game and then I don't even freaking play it. And it just keeps happening. It's not a backlog of games, it's a pile of shame. But it is what it is. I'll get around to it. I gotta prioritize, get back to live streaming and just put a list of games together and just start playing them. But there's certain things I'm just gonna wind up just getting rid of because there's just not enough time in the world. So shameless self-promotion, madpixelshop.com. I am gonna be selling a buttload of my Nintendo Switch games because there's just no way. I don't collect games in that sense where it's just going to sit on the shelf. I got to have the games I want to play. There's going to be a bunch of them I'm just never going to get around to playing, so I'm going to put them up on my website to sell. Take a look at that. But yeah, the Switch 2. We got some information apparently, and I'm always curious with this when people say, I've got sources. I've had sources in the past, and I try to, like, when a source says, hey, I can't be revealed, and I'm not some like insider person. My sources that I've had in the past with certain things have typically been distributors, things like that, people who sell items, who get things in hand ahead of time, who deal with manufacturers, stuff like that. And, I'll hint at like, hey, it's somebody, just dumb things, nothing crazy, where anybody's going to get sued, but it's typically like where the distributor doesn't want anybody to know, like, hey, they have relationships with these companies type of thing. But I'll still kind of like hint at like how I got my source, even though it's not really important. It's not Switch 2 level stuff. But when people are like, hey, various sources, this, and that, and it's like, who, like, I can just say that. According to various sources, the Nintendo Switch 2 is gonna, when you're playing it, it's gonna reach out. It's got like a mechanical hand. It's gonna reach out and it's gonna tickle your taint while you're playing a game. That's according to various sources. I've heard it all over the place, dude. Various sources have told me this. Like, the words mean nothing. Who the hell are these sources? But regardless, this kind of makes sense to me, even though I've seen people saying it doesn't make sense, because Nintendo, they said they're like anti-scalping stuff. They're gonna have enough of these out there for everybody to get their grubby little mitts on them, right? The Switch 2, it shouldn't be a problem. I still foresee it, like, because people are dumb. You can't even get Pokemon cards right now. You know what I'm saying? It's freaking stupid out there. But you'll still have scalpers. Like Nintendo, say they put one Walmart store has 1 million Switch 2s sitting there. Somebody will buy them all thinking that they can resell them. Doesn't matter how much supply there is, there will be greedy mofos to grab them all. That's just the way it works. Doesn't matter. The supply, I don't know. It's just the way distribution is right now. It's a mess, man. But hopefully things work out. But this article on Insider Gaming is claiming, according to sources, various sources, right, that the Switch 2 is going to have a launch in like this 3-phase strategy. And the first phase is when it comes out, it's going to be primarily with first party games. Part of this makes sense to me, but then part of it doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. And I forgot about this part. This does make sense, but it doesn't make sense, is what I wanted to say initially. It slipped my mind. But they say, according to sources, there's that word again, sources, freaking sources, dude. The second stage will arrive in October, November. So the first stage is like, what, June, July or something like that? That's when people have been saying that the Switch is going to launch in summer. And some people, yeah, like that, it doesn't make sense to launch a console in summer. I thought it kind of makes sense because yeah, normally we don't get consoles in summer. It's usually fall into holidays. But with their wanting to have enough out there for everybody, kind of makes sense to trickle them out through summer to holidays because it's going to really build up holidays, right? You get those initial shipments out there and then building up toward the holidays, everybody's getting their hands on them. Kind of makes sense to me. But the other part that doesn't make sense to me is this part. The second stage, October, November for third party studios. Okay, it does make sense. Like, okay, third party studios want to get their games out there during the holidays, get that mad rush and that build up to people getting their hands on the system to get more sales of these games. That part makes sense. But it says most of which are expecting the dev kits for the Switch 2 to be sent in June. So these mofos are going to get dev kits in June and they're going to crunch these games out in a few months for the holiday season. That doesn't make any damn sense. That part doesn't make sense. Is that the way shit normally works? That you get a dev kit after the launch of the system or when the system launches and it's just the company putting the system out and just first party games and that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, I could understand like maybe some developers, some studios didn't get a dev kit already or whatever. Um, but it doesn't make sense to me that like, okay, third party, like that's the big thing is like later this year and that dev kits are going to be going out in June. So most of which are expecting the dev kits for the Switch 2 to be sent in June. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Am I reading this incorrectly? According to sources, the second stage will arrive October, November for third-party studios, most of which are expecting the dev kits to be sent in June. I don't like that doesn't say all, it says most of which. That doesn't make sense. It was said that the third phase for the games will be in the holiday period. Okay, that's like the holiday period already, October to November. That's the holiday period, mofo. November's like it. How is that a third period? So that's their three-phase launch plan, apparently. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Part of it makes sense to me to trickle it out like that, put it out in June, July, or whatever, summertime, build up the systems towards the holiday, and then have a big launch of games. But not necessarily the dev kits getting sent out, like, they should already be out there, right? For the most part, for all the big studios, for all the companies wanting to put stuff out. They're not gonna be building their games in June to launch them in freaking October, November. I don't get it, but it kinda makes sense to have the system launching and just the way things are going now. Have it come out summer, a minimal launch of games, mostly first party stuff, some third party, and then boom, winter, holidays, hit them hard, hit them hard. I could see that, I could see that. So, yeah, we got that April 2nd reveal coming up. I don't know, these sources, is this correct? Is this actually gonna be the way it goes down? I have been hearing that the launch is supposed to be in June or whatever, or July. Was it June? The J months, dude, summer, the beginning of summer. That's when it's supposed to launch, apparently. Is that actually going to happen? So part of this could be legit, but who knows, man? That's my rant and ramble for the day. Does it make sense? I don't know. Let me know what you think.